Hello, everyone. We are live here from Eye Care Business's live streams. Welcome back to all of our viewers and our readers. I know I can see many of you are here watching today. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. I am super excited to be back here for our second installment of EB Share the Mic. So we've run obviously a lot of live streams over the course of the past several years for Eye Care Business, and I have moderated a lot of those. We're really excited to have this new series where we're turning over the mic to an industry luminary, an expert in the industry, to interview another kind of industry luminary and icon of their choice. So I am super excited to have two amazing ladies here today on our live stream. And that is Dibby Bartlett, who is the president of the Opticians Association of America. Hi, Dibby, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Nice to be here.
And great to have you. And Johnna Dukes, who is the vice president of the Opticians Association of America and the optician owner of a full-service optical shop in Spirit Lake, Iowa. So these two amazing women are going to talk today. In a minute here, I'll turn it over to Dibby, and she's going to ask some questions of Jonna and kind of talk about her experience through the pandemic, the challenges, the hardships, the recovery strategies, kind of how we've come through and, and how she's come to the other side here. So, which is definitely a good place to be after everything we've all been through. For sure. So I want to tell our audience, though, here, if you have questions along the way as you are watching, we're going to try to keep our live stream short today, about 20 minutes or so. So it'll be a really great bunch of, a lot of information in a short time period. So stay tuned while we're here. And if you have questions along the way, please feel free to type those into the comment bars on YouTube or on Facebook, and we can address those in a Q&A session at the end if there are any questions. Also, we love to know who's here watching. So we invite you to please type in your name, your practice name, your optical shop name into the comment bars on YouTube or on Facebook. And we'd love to know who's here watching today. So again, thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dibby here. Dibby, thank you so much for your joining us today, for your leadership, for the industry and for the Opticians Association of America through everything this past year. I mean, obviously for all the years, but this past year and a half in particular has been incredible and certainly challenged everyone. And I know that the organization has been such a great resource for opticians, going through all of this with the pandemic. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'd love if you could maybe just share a little bit of your background with our viewers, and then, I'll turn it over to you to kind of introduce Jonna and go into the question and answer session here.
Great. Sounds wonderful. Well, as Erinn had said, I am the president of the Opticians Association of America, and I've been in the optical industry for 41 years.
Wow.
As a licensed optician in Massachusetts, optical manager, marketing manager. I spent 10 years as a sales rep for both Rem Eyewear, which is now Dorigo Rem, and Safilo, and then on to COO of Todd Rogers Eyewear. So that is me, and I want to say welcome to everybody. I'm very glad to be here. Erinn asked me to join in this live stream and asked me to choose who I wanted to interview. It wasn't a hard choice because I have chosen Johnna Dukes. And Jonna, in addition to being a very good friend of mine, she's also the vice president of the Opticians Association of America, soon to be president in February of 2022, which is crazy, right around the corner. I know.
It sure is.
She is also optician owner of, as you mentioned, Erinn, of Optique, which is a full-service optical shop in the beautiful town of Spirit Lake, Iowa. So the reason that I wanted to do this particular interview, I thought it would give us everybody in the optical industry, a really good understanding of the impact that the pandemic has had on the small business optician owner, and to learn some of the things that they've had to do to cope and have changed going forward. So welcome, Jonna. So nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Dibby. And truly thank you for your leadership and your friendship, and what a year it's been. So really bravo and kudos to your abilities and your leadership. It's absolutely been a guiding light in a scary time.
Oh, thank you.
No doubt.
Thank you very much.
And
So
I just want to mention too, I'm sorry to interrupt you ladies, but I wanted to mention, to make sure that our audience knew that, we had named Dibby was one of the Eye Care Business Game Changer awardees last year. So we are really thrilled to share that and announce that ran in our November-December issue of Eye Care Business. And that was a really big, huge feature. We named 10 game changers each year, and Dibby was one of ours. So thank you for that. Sorry to interrupt.
No, and I hugely, hugely appreciate that. But Jonna, let's get the audience up to date about your business. So, tell us a little bit about it. How long have you had it? Kind of shop it is, the community, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so we are an optical boutique, and we like to kind of focus on personal concierge frame selection. So what we do is, really personalized. We sit down and we talk with you about wants and needs, but better than that, how do you want to see the world? How do you want the world to see you? We like to look at our clients as walking billboards for our business. And so it's fairly common to, finish up an interaction with a client and just say, thank you for, making my frames look beautiful. Thank you for making my frames come to life. And, it's a lot of fun in that way. We really thrive on that personal interaction in that boutique type of setting. But we opened in 2010, so we are 11 years old, and are located in the Iowa Great Lakes area, which is really a thing.
Iowa's Great Lakes.
Beautiful.
The Iowa Great Lakes.
Wonderful. Oh, I think I'm having a little bit of issue here. Hold on one second. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. We had a little technical issue there.
That happens.
So is it a tourist community, or is it, what type of community is it?
It is. So we've got these 3 lakes in this tiny corner of the state. And so we have a lot of population swell, certainly during the summer. We are a very tourist-driven area. But, of course, we like to cater to our year-round friends as well as our summer friends.
I hope to see it someday. I know I'm going to.
Yes.
Jonna and I spent...
Open invite.
Thank you. We spent the end of last February together at a leadership conference in Florida. When COVID was just maybe one line in a newspaper, and we came home, and suddenly the world blew up. So I was curious, do you remember the day or around the time when all of a sudden you realized that this pandemic was really going to have some effect on your business?
I do. I remember the day and the time. It was March 16th. It was a Monday, and right around noon, I feel like we were getting all this information in a short time, and it just felt like the world stopped. And I'm not alone in that feeling. I feel like most people know where they were when 9/11 hit, and I feel like a lot of people know where they were when they realized the gravitas that this pandemic could cause.
Yes. And I know you and I spoke not long after that. And having been friends for years, I heard something in your voice that day that I had never heard before. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, let's be real. It was straight up terror. It was terror. Really and truly, I just felt the weight of the world on me. I have employees. I felt very... just really trying to make sure they're provided for. And not only that, the future of the business, there was so much uncertainty. And, my husband and I are both business owners. And so neither of us knew, professionally or personally what the future held. And wow, that's the most afraid I think I've ever been, ever.
And, COVID has affected so many people so strongly in so many ways, but business owners in a particular way, and I think you're right, fear driven, certainly. So as a business owner and professionally, was that the first time you'd ever felt that?
I felt fear before. I mean, opening the business was something that was fearful, but I think the difference there is while I was afraid when we were opening the business, I was also really excited. And this situation, of course, was different because there was no excitement here. It was, it was just, there was so much unknown. And I'm such a type A person. I know you know that about me.
I love that about you.
But to not know what was coming was it was terrifying.
Yeah. Yes. So did you freeze for a while, or did you jump right into action? Do you remember, kind of what happened initially right in the beginning?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to look back on that time and say, I did this and I did this, but immediately I froze. Immediately I froze. It's something that, it just kind of took a day at a time and trying to, put a foot in front of the other foot and, realizing that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. But immediately it just felt like everything stopped.
Yeah. And the thing is that we're at a situation now where we see a decline and there's so many good things happening. Right. But we didn't know that was going to happen now or in 5 years, or we really didn't know. And, I think that's all part of the trauma that we all felt, but particularly, business owners. So what did you do? Take some actions to help your business? What kind of things did you reach out to do?
Yeah, talking with other opticians was a guideline for me. It was really something that I did not only because I needed to, but also because there were so many great ideas. And Dibby, I have to thank you just immensely for being such, again, I said guiding light, and that's really one of the only things I can describe that as. But really and truly, it was just talking to people and saying, what's working for you? How are you doing? How are you dealing with this? And so in talking with other opticians, we started to put together plans. And with each plan that came forward, I became a little more comfortable. And I think that, the little by little change, we implemented, our safety protocols. We started figuring out how are we going to do social distancing. We did as much business outside as we could. We essentially switched everything over to appointment only. So there were no more walk-in anythings. All of those little changes came about from talking to other opticians. And I feel like each step we took led us to another step, which made both my employees and myself and our clients, really and truly, it made everyone a little more comfortable, step by step, incrementally, as we went along.
And I know you actually created a video that the Vision Council used to be able to show consumers what it might look like if you were going to go and purchase glasses. And this is why they considered it safe, and this is what you're hoping to see when you walk into a shop. So, I think that was great. At our leadership conference, we had Ashley Mills, and she talked about the effect, of course, on Vision Expo, and one of the things that she said was that helped her was to create a plan and stick to it. And as scary as things were, just to keep going back and saying, okay, but this is our plan, and we're just going to keep going with our plan. And it sounds like that's part of something that you did as well.
Yeah, and Ashley is just absolutely wonderful. And, again, she had wonderful guidance through that time as well. And, that's what we look to. That's what, we as business owners, that's what we needed in that time. And I'm so incredibly grateful that we had people who were willing to be there for it. Because, I mean, truly, who knows how that could have been different, but it really was a great comfort to me.
That's
So
great.
what kind of effects did these actions that you take? Did your community embrace it? Were they afraid? Did your business
We
do all
freeze.
right? If you don't mind answering that.
Yeah. Truly, I think little by little, people became more comfortable.
Mhm.
And because we're in the Midwest, we didn't have a statewide, shutdown mandate. We did have the guidance from the Optometric Association that said not to be doing routine exams for a period of time, but we were still open for emergencies and, things of that nature. And so I went to work every day. And so part of that routine, became you go to work, you get up and you go to work. And then as we were starting to make those plans to, create our safety protocols and, changing things to appointment only, I think that there were so many things along the way that not only brought, myself and my staff comfort, but I do think that it made, the public feel like they were coming to a safe place. And we did hear that over and over again from our clients. So I do think that they appreciated our efforts. And, we work in a field that it really does sometimes come down to what your reputation is. And we certainly wanted to have the reputation of being a place where it was safe to come.
And that carries through later on as well. That if you have a reputation for that certainly is going to help later on.
Yeah. I mean, and on top of that too, just like I was reaching out to other opticians, I was reaching out to my clients. It was important to me to know how they were. So we would do, little posts here and there, or just, the in-person conversation. It's like, while we may be 6 feet away from each other and masking and things of that nature, we're still here for you and we still care that you're okay. So those little personal touches, to be honest, not only I think created goodwill, but I needed that. Yeah. I needed to, to chat with people and let them know that I cared about how they were and, and that they cared about me too. So those things really, I think that was a two-way street. It maybe helped them, but it certainly helped me.
And, you talked about routine, but, I always think in chaos, routine is your best friend.
Yeah,
it really does help you, just putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. And, like we mentioned, I'm a planner and I'm type A. And, when there's chaos, those are the things that I cling to. Those are the things that I know about myself that I need.
So when did you really feel like you could breathe again? If you are, in fact, breathing now, what changed to make you feel that way? Yeah,
I think truly right around that like late June, early July timeframe last year, that was when the Optometric Association said, okay, you can start doing exams again. And so when we were starting to see routine exams, when we were starting to do more normalized things, when some of those PPP programs started rolling out, and we got there and honestly the phone was ringing, and so just having the phone ringing and those things starting to happen kind of made me feel like, okay, this isn't permanent. This isn't forever. And so that's probably when I kind of started to, pull myself together maybe and start thinking about what business would be like eventually and how do we get there?
I know you pretty well, and I probably answer this myself, but what do you think is the one characteristic that you have that really served you the best during this particular time?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably my innermost need to have sense of things and to plan things. And, I'm a little, I don't know that tenacious is the word, but when I start something, I want to see it through. That's just
we call that dog with a bone.
Kind of, yes.
Yes. In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. I mean, you can focus that energy into good things. And so in that downtime, I really tried to, talk to labs. I interviewed new labs. I looked at lab contracts. I looked at buying groups. I looked at how can we do business better when we're back to whatever. I don't want to say normal. I hate that word. But,
Yeah.
you know, when we're able to, again, how do we make this better than it was before? And so I really feel like I took that time and was diligent in trying to make some of those decisions. And I do think that's been something that has served me well.
That's great. So do you find, are there going to be long-term effects about your whole business philosophy due to this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think I'm ever going to feel okay with carrying debt again in a business sense. You know, even now when I make a big frame order, part of me kind of, you know, like I pause for a bit and I want to come back with what I'm working on. But really and truly, you know, it's those little things that are still in the back of your head, and you know, you try to be real about it and look it in the eye and face it. But you know, you come out of these things changed somehow, and
Absolutely.
yeah. So those things will linger, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So as president and vice president and soon to be president of OAA, our role is to represent the opticians in the United States. I think it's enormously helpful that you are a business owner, and because it really allows you to put yourself in the shoes of all of the optician business owners that we have in our profession, and to truly understand, you know, what their day-to-day is, what they worry about, what they're excited about, that sort of thing. So I'm really excited to see you upcoming in the next role. So after surviving the last year, what would you say to optician owners out there now? And what would you say to those who are thinking of opening their own optical?
You know, that's the great thing about this business, but really and truly to opticians in general, owners, you know, anyone in the field, I see you. I feel you. It's been, we just did a really tough thing. And so take a minute and take care of you, because this industry needs you. Your patients need you. This field is going to come back stronger, and I believe it already is. But at the end of the day, we need you. And so we need you to be well. And not only that, we do an important thing. And I know sometimes it feels like we get caught in the woods and the weeds, and, you know, we're stuck with whatever this problem is that we're trying to solve in terms of a client or whatever the case is. But try not to forget that you're so important to this industry, and we need you. We need you healthy.
Yes.
So take care of you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Opticians are wonderful. We love them, and so important to the consumer. Yes, they really are. Thank you so much, Jonna. This was wonderful. It's heartfelt and really, I know it helps people out here to hear this, to know that they weren't the only one that felt this way, and to see somebody who came through this so successfully and bravely.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me here. And I don't know, I just think sometimes knowing you're not alone is worth its weight in gold. So
absolutely.
Yeah. It's so true. I thank you for your honesty, you know, and I think that's really important, because we've so many, you know, right? Everyone's an independent business owner, so many in our industry, and everyone had been through that, and that just even kind of that feeling of terror, and that kind of processing that, making that plan, kind of getting through these next steps. I mean, it was just so real, you know, for everyone. So it's really, I think it's really powerful to own that, you know, that happened, that everyone kind of came through that and came to the other side. And boy, you know, everyone deserves a vacation for sure after all of this.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yes. Yes. Mm.
Yeah. So we really appreciate you sharing these thoughts, you know, and these real feelings with the reader, with our viewers and our readers, because I think it's just so critical, you know, and we're moving forward now, and the industry really is in recovery, and the numbers are bearing that out. So we're seeing some really positive movement, and that on the consumer side, and on the retail side. So it's really exciting. to see, and I appreciate that. And my apologies. This is the beauty of live. I think I jinxed myself earlier. I was telling Jonna and Dibby about a time when I dropped off due to no internet, and I dropped off due to no internet. My husband just walked in, so everybody got to see him because he was troubleshooting, rebooting the router. Because anyway, I'm hotspotting off my phone right now. So
wow.
so
All
that
works
works too. Exactly. Anyway, well, thank you so much. We truly appreciate your time, both of you. Such an important conversation, and really can't wait to see you both in person and celebrate together. These new beginnings for the industry. So
Great.
thank you both.
Thank you, Erinn.
And
thank you so much.
Yes,
Nice to see
so
everybody.
appreciate it. And thanks to our audience for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. And we look forward to seeing you out here again on our EB live streams. So thank you, and wishing everybody a great day.
Bye.